Hey you guys, this is Cassandra and I'm here with my buddy Chad Scott, and I am a relationship coach and I inspire men to create incredible memories with their loved ones.
It's like she said, Chad Scott, relationship, life coach, focus on being accountable, being an accountability partner.
Yes. So today we're going to talk about why we are single even though we're relationship coaches. So, Chad, do you find that people are surprised or not surprised that you do coaching, relationship coaching, but you're single?
Very surprised. So what happens a lot of times when I do relationship coaching is even when I'm in public or I'm just talking, like hanging out, somebody, yo, Chad, help women get rings. They're like, what? And I had to explain, like, listen, I help people, date better, blah, blah. They're like, yeah, but rings, are you married? And I'm like, nah, I'm not married. It's like, that makes no sense.
Right.
So for me, I look at it from the standpoint, I've always been big on, I'm single because what happens is being a coach, you see things differently. So what happens is it's different when you blinded or bliss, or you get caught up in that quote unquote honeymoon stage and you try to not see red flags. We see the red flags. We see those trouble shots. So for us, it's like, yeah, dating us is a lot of work. So within that, I'm very big on understanding that, yes, I'm single, but I'm not bitter about it. I love love. I love love that makes sense. But I'm single because for me, I have to be, I know what I'm looking for. And I know it's going to take some time. I'm okay with that. So that's
why. Why do you think it's a lot to date a relationship coach?
It's a lot to date a relationship coach because at the end of the day, the triggers and the conversations that we have is not the typical conversations. So it's not surface level conversations. It's not like, oh, you beautiful, oh, you cute. We have those moments, but then those moments about we see the patterns or we see something going on and we question it. And some people don't like to be questioned or don't want to have those conversations. And that's when they push back like, no. That's not fun. You're not fun. Or for me, dating women, a lot of time when I address certain things for them, they get offended because mostly guys don't address it when it comes to sexuality or sex or other conversation that I will have that most guys be like, they just happy to be there. Right. And I'm like, hey, I got a question.
Right.
So for me, that's why for me being single is one of the things where I know what I'm looking for. I know to have a conversation, and a lot of people I meet that I may be interested in, I realize that it may not be a good fit. But what about you?
So you basically just told my story, child. But it's true. Like, so I haven't dated seriously too much. So I have my life pre-coaching, which I was married and I was with my high school sweetheart and we were together for 15 years. So post that is when I became a coach. And post that is I'd gotten my master's degree in social work and everything like that. So I didn't really have this knowledge base around dating and these uncomfortable conversations that we talk about. Yeah. Like, I didn't really have much of that as of yet when I first started dating, but I've always been big on asking questions and asking deep questions. Like, I've always been that kind of person. So now being a relationship coach and seeing so by the time somebody sees me is when they feel like they married the wrong one, right? That's when they finally come to see me. So I'm seeing a lot of relationships in breakdown, right? So for me in dating, to prevent that, I start thinking about all the questions and things that they probably should have asked before they got to the altar. And I'm asking that like in the middle of dating, which is not common for a lot of people. A lot of people, they want to do the date nights. They want to, look cute, and they want to talk about the number of kids. They want to talk about what the wedding will look like, but they don't want to talk about the debt. They don't want to talk about their credit scores. They don't want to talk about how much money they make. Those questions seem to be too much, but it's like, but you're telling me that you see me as wife material, right? You're telling me that you think that I'm different than any other woman that you've dated. So then that means the conversation got to level up.
Yeah. I think for me, I look at it from a standpoint of we get caught up in relationships and dating. And we have to now look at it from a standpoint of, all right, I like this person. The honeymoon stage, I hate the honeymoon stage. I see what's talking about it. But for me, it's like, I want to have the conversation if I'm dating with a purpose.
Right.
Now, we just having fun and you just want to hang out.
Definitely.
Have a blast.
Right.
But for me, I like to date with a purpose. So if I'm dating someone, we're going to have that conversation about, like you said, debt, career, goals, what you're looking for, what you like. We're going to have those conversations about religion. We're going to have the conversation about politics. Like, we're going to see, are we going to gel well?
Yes.
Beyond the fluff, beyond the sex, beyond, like, are we going to be good as partners? And I remember you talked about before about love. Marriage is part love, part business.
Correct.
So for me, we're looking at it from, can this person be a great business partner?
Yeah. Oh, Lord have mercy.
And I talked about a long time ago, a while ago, about branding, right? You got to look at yourself as a brand.
Right.
So for me, if I'm looking at myself as a brand, I have to be attached to someone that makes sense for the quote-unquote brand.
Right.
It has to be, you have to represent me.
Yes.
So if I feel there's moments or things I need to talk about, I'm going to talk about it. And that's when some people get them pushback. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so like I said, being single is one thing where people get caught up in it where...
Do you like being single?
I enjoyed it. I enjoy being single because I understand why I'm single. It's one thing if people are like, I don't know, Chad, why am I single? So those girls and those people that telling me, we could talk about those issues if you're ready for love. But for me, I'm like, I still got to establish certain things to get ready for love. But I'm very big on, I love the compliments when girls DM me and tell me that I feel like I'm their boyfriend in the head. Mm-hmm. I'm like, cool. I appreciate it. That's dope. That people see me and look at me as I embody or become someone they can see as a life partner. But for me, it's like, if I date a woman or I'm interested in a woman, I'm going to have those conversations. And I think that's why I'm single. I'm single because, I know you hate this phrase, but I think that the third eye, when it comes to, I see things differently. Mm-hmm. So that's why when it comes to dating me, it's going to be a lot of work.
Yes.
But I'm saying, but overall, how you feel about people coming to you and saying, you're single? Do they feel dim in the eyes, or how they respond when you tell them that you're single?
I feel like, to be honest with you, I think guys ask that question in more of like a disrespectful kind of way. They're like, you're dating your relationship coach, really? Mm-hmm. And sometimes I ask them, like, when coaches help a lot of these basketball players become the greatest, like, were they there, like, in the paint? Like, were they there or were they on the sidelines?
Some never played the game.
Right, they never played it ever. They don't even meet the height requirement. You know what I'm saying? To be in the NBA to qualify. And I was like, and that's how I am. Like, I may not be in a relationship, but I have that bird's eye view. And I just love, and I want people to have a successful relationship.
Yeah, that's it. I think that at the end of the day, people get caught up. I tell people all the time, you get caught up in me being single and not look at the scoreboard. In the sense of, even though helping women get rings and up to 20 rings, I look at it from like, everybody knows you get a ring, it's like getting a record deal. Mm-hmm. But I look at it from the standpoint of, you're looking at me being single as what did he know? He's not single, where's the ring at? But you're not seeing all the impact I'm doing to other people's lives.
Exactly. So
I'm focused on the impact on other people's life, and I'm not bitter. I love. That's why I said I love what I do, being a coach and helping people. But
and that, that's another thing too. It's like, even if I were married, the person that I'm married to is inconsequential to you. Because they have a different personality type, different needs and everything like that. So it's like, and you can, technically speaking, like, I can only be married to one person. It's not like I could be married to a dozen types of people to give this expansive knowledge. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, even if I was in a relationship, what would that have to do with you and your needs? Like, does that make sense?
I get it, but some people struggle with it. And so I think that us being single is one of the things where we're not bitter or feel away. No. We love. This is why we do what we do, but we love that makes sense. So when it makes sense, we will be happy to jump into that. But until then, we just enjoy being single.
So let me ask you a question. Have you identified a person that's in this field that you feel like you would date? Because then it's like, I'm listening to us talking, I'm like, well, why don't relationship coaches date each other then?
Good. It's almost like why Christians don't date Christians, right? So it's one of the things where, yes, we have an understanding, so we have a different kind of way we view or approach relationships, but we still gotta like each other. You know, yes, of course, we have similar understanding, and you're like, yeah, that sounds profound.
Right.
But once again, the uncomfortable conversation. there's more in depth when it comes to relationships. So at certain level, yeah, it sounds amazing.
Right.
But now we got to really get to know each other. So when dating a relationship coach, I don't mind dating one. But for me, it's like we also got to know all of me.
Right.
And not just the coaching and the strategies. Cause you talk about that, you're passionate in it. But now, how we gel as a relationship. What about you?
I feel like every time I've met anybody in this field, my mind automatically switches to like, you're my colleague.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like, even when relationship coaches hit me up on Instagram, and they've never like, no relationship coach has ever really like said, hey, I want to date you, I want to take you out. Mm-hmm. But they'll say, I want to get to know you. So I never like in my head think, oh, you trying to holler at me or something like that. I look at it like as networking and stuff like that. But for me, like another reason why I'm single is because I love being single.
You enjoying it? You've been in the game for a long time. You finally out. You want to enjoy this a little bit.
And it's the perfect time, right? It's like I'm in my 30s. You know what I'm saying? I have some flexibility, and like I was sharing with Chad in another like video was that like to get me out of my house, okay, where I have my Netflix. You cannot like it's not enticing to me to go out for a coffee date. Or coffee meetup, like a meet and greet, right?
Meet and greet, you know how I call it.
That's not enough. Because I have, like, so one of the things my mother used to tell me, like when I was younger, I used to say, Mommy, I want to go, my friend is having a sleepover. My friend is having a sleepover. And my mother, her being Haitian, like, she's like, sleepover? What is that? And I'm like, oh, you know, I want to go to my friend's house and just sleep over. She's like, and do what? And I was like, and sleep. And she was like, and the bed I bought you? You're not going to sleep on that? So I kind of like, that still plays in my mind, right? Like, if a man is asking me out or you're supposed to be, you know, advancing, right? I don't look at a relationship as something to just do. It's like, how am I advancing in this relationship? That's not, to me, it doesn't make sense. Like, why would I leave my house for coffee? Or why would I leave? I just can't get...
Got it. It gotta make sense.
It's crazy to me.
But even with that, that just takes people gotta get to know you better and realize that what would take you out the house.
Right.
But right now, you're so focused on your craft and your world right now that, you know, you enjoy dating. So you may date here and there, but far as relationship, it may take a while.
Yeah.
That's fine. So like I said.
I'm finna show up how I show up when I go to my kitchen and get coffee. I'm finna show up in my sweats. I'm finna show up with my bonnet. Because how I would normally show up for a date, hair done, lashes, the makeup and all of that, that's not worth $5.
So what would be your final thought when it comes to us coaching and being single?
I feel this is another thing. I enjoy being single and being a relationship coach because I have time to devote myself and my time to somebody else's relationship. Mm-hmm. It still boggles my mind because I think sometimes I'm doing a coaching call well into 10-something o'clock at night. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like I have more bandwidth.
Okay.
So I feel I feel like it's beneficial when you got somebody that has the bandwidth to really be dedicated to you and be in the trenches with you as you're sorting things out in your relationship.
Makes sense.
What you think?
I think that for me being single, I'm a night person and day person, so I'm up. Mm-hmm. But I think that what happens for me is I think it's a great idea since I tell people all the time, get it now. Like now I'm single, they said access because now when you have a partner, you have to now split that time and your schedule get more tighter. Definitely. You know, you love the joy, but it does cut away.
Definitely.
So you gotta find discipline. But yes, I think that is one thing. My final thought is just that don't really necessarily worry about the background in a sense of are we single or not. I think it is all about the work.
Correct.
All you want to do the work for you.
Definitely.
Because I'm happy.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing I tell, even about being single or being in a relationship, the core thing of what I do is about making people happy and content on where they at. If you're not happy in a relationship or you're not happy single, that's something there. And that's what we coach you on. Yeah. But if we're good, and I feel like that's why I'm good being single, because I know what I'm looking for, I know what I want, and I'm chilling. Okay.
Exactly. So y'all heard it here. This is why relationship coaches, a lot of us are single, is because we out here seeing what y'all are going through. Okay? We are good. So we want to be in a relationship that's going to make sense. All right? But don't discount us because we're not booed up, but just look at our track record and the relationships that we're able to transform.
And impact.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
So be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.